Today I'm going to talk about something that took me a wee while to get the hang of. This idea of doing nothing, specifically how doing nothing can actually be a quite powerful leadership tool. I don't know about you, but I feel like I am constantly bombarded with messages and videos around productivity, efficiency, and hustle. As leaders, we can fall into the trap of feeling like we need to be busy. We need to be seen to be busy, and we actually need to be doing everything to make sure that we're achieving all of our goals in our role. But I'm here to tell you that sometimes the most effective thing that you can do as a leader is nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not talking about laziness or procrastination. I'm talking about strategically and deliberately carving out time for stillness, self-reflection, and simply being present. It might seem strange, but in my experience, the biggest breakthroughs or some of those little niggly problems have actually been solved when I haven't really been doing anything to do with work. Think about it. When are your best ideas born? Not when you're sitting at your desk staring at your computer trying to think of something. Well, not for me anyway. It's usually when I'm outside going for a walk, I'm in the shower, brushing my teeth, something that is actually taking me away from everything to do with what it is that is on my mind. These moments of downtime actually allow our subconscious to do a bit of magic, connecting what seem like quite vague ideas into something really solid that gives you that, oh my goodness, I've just solved it. I've just come up with this idea. As leaders, we're constantly bombarded with requests for decisions, information, and demands. If we don't take time to step back and process everything, we risk becoming overwhelmed, reactive, and ultimately less effective. Doing nothing allows you to gain perspective. You can see the bigger picture if you stepped away from the chaos for just a little bit. Gaining perspective also allows you to see what really matters so that you can prioritize what it is that you're focusing on. It allows you to boost creativity. As I mentioned before, downtime allows your subconscious to really roam and make sure that you're connecting ideas. This is where creativity comes in. Give your mind the space to actually think of new things. It improves decision making. Rushing into any decision is often a bad idea. Sometimes, you have to make a decision on the fly. But for the majority of the time, a lot of what we're asked for as leaders is actually something that we could take a little bit more time to make the right decision. I'm not talking about procrastination again either. It's just really considering, okay, this is the right decision, and allowing yourself a little bit of time to reflect. It also reduces burnout and stress. The idea of being on all the time just creates a lot of stress. Making sure that you're not making emotional responses is often born from having reduced stress. It also improves your self-awareness. Quiet reflection allows you to connect with your inner self. And yes, that might sound a bit woo-woo, but it actually allows you to think, do I actually think this is the right thing to be doing? Or am I just saying that because I think that's what I should be doing? Having that little bit of space allows you a moment to think, yep, that aligns with my values. That is the right thing to do. I'm comfortable with that. So, how do you incorporate this whole idea of doing nothing into your leadership routine without it becoming a thing that your manager is suddenly talking to you about? So you're doing nothing again? Not great. You can do this actually relatively easily. It is not about adding another task to your to-do list. It's about intentionally creating space in your day for stillness. This can look different for everyone. Some people meditate, some people go for a run, some people walk outside, others just sit in the sun. The key is to find out what works for you and make it a regular practice. Now for me, this was one hard task to learn. I would have told you that I was already creating space to do this all the time as I exercised almost every morning, and during that time I'd go on the treadmill and I'd watch leadership documentaries and videos about leadership and growing your leadership mindset And that was my time of stillness. That was when I was keeping everything calm. But then one day I dropped my iPad on a tiled floor and it broke. And I suddenly didn't actually have anything to watch when I was on the treadmill. And it made me realize that while I was watching leadership stuff on the treadmill and thinking that I was growing my inner self and creating space, what I was actually doing was filling up my mind with new ideas and new things, which is great, growth is good. I was actually also multitasking, doing emails, writing up scripts for YouTube videos, thinking about what YouTube videos I might do next, clipping long form videos into shorts. I was not even concentrating on a documentary about leadership. I was trying to do everything. There was definitely no stillness in that time. There was so much noise. And by having to do none of that, because I decided that my phone was too small to do all of those different screens at the same time, during that period, I actually didn't do anything while I was on the treadmill. I listened to music. I still was listening to something and absorbing something, and it wasn't completely still, but it did give me a bit of a kick around the fact that I don't actually like silence and I don't really do stillness. So I decided to challenge myself and that I was going to incorporate meditation into my morning routine. I started off with 10 minutes. It was a nightmare. I could not shut my mind up for 10 minutes. I was constantly thinking, oh, I hope this doesn't take too long because I want to get on the treadmill, I want to do my exercise routine, and oh, what if that, did I hear the kids? Did I hear the kids? Was that a noise? Can I hear the kids waking up? Oh, they're going to ruin my morning routine. Yeah, wasn't great. I did it though. I did it every day for 10 minutes for 30 days. I got better. I started experiencing a little bit of space in my head where I actually did let go of what I thought were noises and thinking about what was next. And I did notice that I did start feeling a little bit differently. I felt a little bit calmer. It wasn't a huge, massive change, but it definitely gave me a little bit of space. And then, during that little bit of space one day, probably day 27, I suddenly thought, I should do this at night. I should do this meditation at night. This is not for me. This morning thing, that's not my jam. I like to do tasks in the morning. I like to tick things off and I like to get stuff done. At night, I am the last person in my house to go to bed. It's dark, no one's going to interrupt me. I could do it right before bed, 10 minutes, relax me before I sleep, done. It actually was a game changer. I found playlists that have topics of things that you can use when you do your meditation. So if you're struggling with anxiety, if you've got a problem to solve, if you need a restful sleep, there are heaps of playlists that actually direct you to doing those things as a clear goal in your meditation. So for me, it worked. It also meant that I didn't feel like I was doing nothing. It really felt like I was taking advantage of a bit of a tool to help me slow down my mind and give me space to reflect. So doing nothing does not mean being unproductive. It's about being proactive and creating space so that you can reflect and rest your mind a little, so that you make a little bit of space for new things and ideas. So do you do nothing in your leadership? What are your tips? Share them in the comments below. And thanks very much for watching.